guys, my name is Imelda and I'd like to tell you a little story about how many families lived in Ireland in the past about 100 years ago. Mammy and Daddy and their children all lived in a little house. They didn't have huge big houses with lots of rooms upstairs and down like you do these days. Most of the houses had one little room a little bit like this. How many children do you think were in families a long time ago? Well, usually the least amount of children was 13. Imagine that, 12 brothers and sisters. So yes, there were lots of mouths to feed indeed, but it's okay because Mr. and Mrs. Oldenday had a plan. They had some animals and they had a little bit of land around the house so they grew vegetables to feed the family. Mostly they grew potatoes like this, but sometimes some strange looking carrots would appear as well. And they drank loads and loads of nettle soup, which is very good for you indeed. So they loved their animals as well. They looked after them because they knew without their animals they'd have that horrible hungry feeling, especially during the winter. So how do you think they got their hens to lay lots of eggs? Yes, by letting the hens live in the house with them, because hens that are comfy and cozy lay lots of eggs. So they'd sleep in baskets like this, or sometimes in the little open drawer of the dresser. In fact, this little hen here is just going off to bed. Are you tired? Night, sleepy. The whole family are asleep right now because they're all tired from their hard day of work. Yes, the children too, because the children were helping to carry water up from the well, find sticks for the fire, chop wood for the fire, helping mind the younger children, and helping Mammy to sweep out the house. So what do you think? With Mammy and Daddy and all the children, do you think, and all the hens, do you think there was room for any other creatures? Well, there was, because the family pig also lived in the house. Back then, if you had a pig, it meant that your family was doing well. In fact, the pig was known as the gentleman who paid the rent, because each year when the family were able to sell things from the pig, they paid their landlord their yearly rent. So the mammy mainly looked after the poultry, which is the children, the poultry, which is the hens, and any pigs. And because it was easier for her to keep an eye on them if they were in and around the house, that's why the animals also lived in the house, because she didn't want anyone to steal her precious pig, that's for sure, because everything about the pig was valuable. The grease from the pig was used by the shoemakers to thread his needle. The hangman's noose was made from pig skin, as well as obviously all the lovely bacon and rashers and black pudding, which is pig's blood mixed with oats from the field. Delicious. So what else about the pig? Oh, the children used to play with the pig's bladder, so they did, because their daddy would blow it up and they'd use it as a football in the field for a game. And the pig's shins were used as musical instruments, a bit like spoons if you've ever seen them down at the Cultus. Well, actually the other night, down in Sean Max here, I saw a young lad playing the pig shins with my own eyes. So that means the pig's shins are still in demand. So yes, and there was certainly no leftovers if you had a pig, because the pig was able to eat the bad potatoes that people couldn't eat, and they were called the pig's pretties. Now all the family would gather round a basket like this full of cooked potatoes, and everybody would help themselves. And that includes the cat, the hen, and the pig. Unbelievable, isn't it? You probably don't believe me, but it's true. Shh, something's stirring. Oh, you see, that's the pig over there. He's asleep with the rest of the family. In fact, the heat from the pig is helping the family to stay warm throughout the night. You see, Mr. and Mrs. Oldenday were only concerned about the here and the now, and music and stories, and making hay, and of course the hens and the sow, and milking the cow. The end.